My name is Perna, and I have been online coaching for 7 years. I've made upwards of $3 million coaching, and now I help others do the same. Today, I'm going to give a few strategies on how to get started. Most people spend so long overthinking and wasting time and just delaying this. It's crazy. If you implement what I'm about to teach you today, you can probably make quite a bit of money, upwards of probably 5 to 10 grand in your first month. So by the end of today's video, you're going to know exactly how to get started with your online coaching, and you should be pretty excited about it. Now, for those who don't know, my name is Perna, and I have been online coaching for 7 years. I've made upwards of $3 million coaching, and now I help others do the same. I don't help them make 3 million, but I mean, if they want to, but I help them make money online coaching. So today, I'm going to give a few strategies from the Social Blueprint on what I teach my students on how to get started. So getting straight into it, this is going to be perfect for you if maybe you're a personal trainer wanting to go online, but you've never really known how or needed the systems in place, or you had a lot of questions. Maybe you just love fitness and you've helped a lot of people before in fitness, but you'd love to do it for a job. Now, getting straight into it. But before we go any further, I just want to give a bit of context on a bit of a model that I use in my coaching program. And it's the attract, convert, and deliver. And what we want to do is basically nail all of these things so that we can create something that's pretty special for people. Because if we can attract an audience, get eyeballs, and we can convert them and make money, and we can deliver a good service, which is changing people's lives and meaning, we get this nice sweet spot in the middle, which is a successful business. Now, at any given time, you need to focus on one of these things, right? And sometimes as a business owner, we're kind of doing them all. But what I would like you guys to focus on is we're going to do one at a time. So as we talk today, I'm going to give you 6 steps, and it's essentially going to go through on setting up the business and what you need, how to get people to look at your stuff, and then how to sell them on it. So I'm going to give you 6 steps. The first step is to pick your promise. Your promise is essentially what you're offering into the market. So this is creating your offer. Who are you going to help? What do they want to get out of it? What is your niche? That kind of stuff. Now, if you haven't heard before, niching down is basically the term used to describe choosing a target market and going all in on them and excluding a lot of other people. So typically when I tell people to niche down, they usually say the same thing of, well, I don't want to exclude certain people. And a bit of a reframe is that we need to exclude certain people, especially now that it's getting competitive and there's people in the market, because if we can exclude certain people, it means that we're going to speak more closely to another specific type of person. So if I say, for example, I only help mums get in shape, all of a sudden I'm going to exclude all the dads and all the young guys. But with that comes a level of superiority, I guess, or at least expert in that subject matter, because then the mums might look at me and go, oh, he only targets mums. I want to work with someone who gets me. So it implies a level of understanding that is really specific to that individual group that maybe no one else has. Now, whether that's true or not is kind of beside the point, but it still implies it. So it helps for marketing and sales. Now, obviously, the more specific you work with a group, the better you are going to be anyway at dealing with those problems. So I highly recommend niching down. But the problem in the beginning that not many people tell you about is that when you go to niche down, either you're doing it because you were told to, so you choose some random niche, or you dive into one without really thinking it through. So I want to give you a couple of things you can do. One, if you're going to choose your niche, think about who you could help, who you want to help, and what kind of content you want to make as well. Because if you're going to niche down, you're going to have to make content for that niche. If you don't know any of that and you think, well, I'm just starting, how am I supposed to know? Also totally fine. This is what I tell my guys is to start relatively broad in this case, because in the beginning, we need to use whoever we've got. We need to use our friends, family, Instagram followers, everyone. And granted, they're probably not mums following me on Instagram if that's going to be your target market. If I'm going to choose busy dads and you're like a 25-year-old guy who has like one dad following him and it's yours. So like you want to be realistic in the beginning and go, let's get experience, let's make some money. Why not? Instead of I'm going to set this up and just go all in on the niche. So I think if you don't know, it's cool to start broad and that's okay. And we're going to refine it over time. What I like to do when refining people's niches is look at who's resonating with their content, who's responding to their stuff, who's booking sales calls, who's actually becoming a client, and then making extrapolations out of that and going, okay, I'm going to target those people because for whatever reason, I resonate a little bit more with them and they resonate better with me. So the first one is choosing the niche and choosing what problems you're going to solve. Now, muscle gain or fat loss typically, or a holistic approach, right? But that's the whole thing that you need to decide on what you really want to specialize in and what you want to bring to the table. When in doubt, fat loss is very easy. Just to go, yep, I'm going to go with fat loss. That's my thing because everyone wants to lose fat. Most people do. We are probably the fattest we have ever been in the history of the world right now, despite having a lot more coaching opportunities and access to healthy food, but we are still getting fatter as a nation. So actually, as probably as a planet for the most part. So I don't think that niche is going anywhere for a while. So when in doubt, I would go fat loss. Now, number 2 is to create your offer. So your offer basically has 3 things. The first one is training. Now, with training, it's typically done through any one of the softwares. You've got Trainerize, Kahuna's, OneFit, Everfit. There's a lot. They're all good. It doesn't really matter. Trainerize is probably the easiest and the most commonly used. So I would just go with whatever one you want to do. But you're going to give them a training plan, and then there's nutrition. Now, you're either going to give like meal examples is in a meal plan, or macros. Now, these are all recommendations, remember, because nutritionists can give actual meal plans. That's the qualification in like actual meal plans, eat this. But in online coaching, it's never really eat this. It's here's what you can do. Here's what you can eat. Here's a suggestion, right? Consult with your nutritionist before following this, obviously. So you can have disclaimers and things like that to protect yourself and the person too, obviously. But if you are not qualified and personal trainers aren't qualified to give a meal plan either. So if you're doing this, you can either do macros or you can do a meal plan. And finally, you're going to have accountability, which is basically just support, right? So you can have all the information in the world, but the accountability and the support is going to be the difference between going at it yourself and struggling for a while versus implementing it and just skyrocketing it ahead. So accountability is really huge, and it's really what people pay for. So in kind of coming up with all of these things, we're going to price this as our main offer. Now, in terms of pricing, I like to do a really simple approach. Let's just say you're choosing 12 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever you'd like to do, and you want to have it for a pay in full price, which is going to be the cheapest as the most discounted. So say $1,200 for 12 weeks, or you're going to have a weekly price if they wanted to go installments, which is going to be slightly more expensive. So around $120 a week versus $1,200. So if you chose this one, you're saving basically an extra couple $100 basically. So that's a really easy way to get started, and you can charge whatever you want. But what I would like suggest is don't charge less than $80 a week, really, because most people just charge at 80, but don't charge less than 80 because you're going to want to give it your absolute best, and you're going to want to make it worth your while. So if you're game, go a 24 week and go even more expensive. Now, aside from this, we don't want to complicate it with having too many systems, because most people think, oh, I need a website, I need everything ready to go, I've got to have this complicated funnel here and all this, and it's like you really don't need any of that stuff until you're absolutely smashing it. In the beginning, you want things to be simple as. When I first started, I had a spreadsheet I made by myself, and it was horribly disgusting, but it worked. It got the job done. I had just messaging people. I had calls that I would like literally just give them a phone call. So really now there's only a few systems that you really need, and we'll get into exactly what they are. But in terms of delivering this, we need some kind of either Trainerize or even Sheets if you wanted to, or any kind of software. And you can usually do all the nutrition and accountability within that too. Now there's a few softwares that are going to make life a little bit easier, but that's beside the point. Like you could literally get started and launch with this idea of your offer. If we take a zoomed in approach here, there's going to be training, which is going to be workout program, let's say nutrition, so macros or a meal plan variation. And an accountability is going to be through check-in, some kind of process like that, like your Loom check-in or a Zoom check-in where you actually have a face-to-face conversation, or a phone call, or even just tech support, or a combination of everything. So it's just a way to keep people accountable and make sure they get the results. Now, step 3 is to use Instagram as your funnel. So when you're just starting, you need to leverage your entire network. So you need to leverage your social media. This means posting on your personal brand, on your personal account. I don't want you to make a brand new fitness account that no one cares about, no one follows, because you're starting from zero. In the beginning, you need traction. You need to put yourself out there and leverage your personal account. So I did this, and I recommend all of my guys do this as well. And what you can do is essentially start putting it out there that this is what you're doing, that you're taking on some clients and you're going to be posting about fitness. What you can do to make the most of this is pop up a story and put up one story with text on screen, maybe a transformation of yourself if you haven't had a client yet, and say, I'm just starting my online coaching. I'm looking for 5, people or niche or whatever that want to, lose 5 kilos or get in their best shape in the next 12 weeks. If you're interested, drop a message below, or you just put a poll in there and they can vote on the poll. And now you DM those people and you have a conversation and you see what their problems are, see if they need help, and you can escalate that to a call. And on the call, you can present your program and you can talk about it, you can help them out, and you can kind of go from there. So that's a simple Instagram funnel. And if we look at what it actually is, it's doing a couple of things. It's putting a CTA out, which is a call to action. Then it's encouraging someone to do something. That's taking an action. So they're going to take an action. They're going to vote on your story as a poll or message you or whatever that is. And once they do that, you're going to have a conversation in the DMs. This is where you're going to probe a little bit further and go, what have you been dealing with? What kind of goals do you have? What have you tried before? What's the problems? And then once they tell you a little bit more about that, you're going to pitch a call. You're not going to discuss the price in the DMs, because then people will value it based on the price and not really based on what they're going to get or what the result is, which is the most important thing. So in the DMs, you pitch the call just to get basically a further understanding of how you can help them, further understanding their problems. And then on the call, you'll talk about them way more than you. You'll talk about them for 30 minutes, go into the details of how they need help and what the problem is and what that would do for them if they fixed it, just so you can get a really good understanding of how important this is to them as well. And then after that, you'll pitch your program. It's as simple as that. So you'll notice here there is no website. There's no website in this whole mix. It's strictly an Instagram funnel. That's why it's really easy and it gets the job done. Now, I want to pause right here just really quickly and let you guys know that if you don't want to do this yourself and you want to do it with me and let me kind of like show you exactly how to do it and look at your work and go, yep, move on, that's great, then book a call below and chat to the team. Let them know exactly what you want to do, what the problem is, what you want to get out of it, what your goals are, how far you want to take this business, and they'll kind of give you a couple of options of working with us. So if you want to work with us, then the link is below. Otherwise, back to this video. Now, step 5 is we want to build results and stack a lot of proof. So when it comes to stacking results, we need to post our social proof all the time. We have to always be posting social proof, client wins, because in the beginning, you might get a couple of clients. You should get a couple of clients from your Instagram. Now, if you don't, I'll make more videos on how to use call to actions on your Instagram stories and how to actually get more people to respond, how to get leads if you don't have any at all in the beginning. But let's just save that for later. You guys don't need to know that yet. Let's say you start, you get a couple of people on board. Now you need to post them like crazy. So post their wins, their successes, the weight loss all the time, posting that as social proof so that results will stack up and people will go, oh wow, this person's really serious. They're getting great results. Maybe I would like that. You'll ask the current clients that are winning if they know anyone that might want a similar service, and you can get them to connect you with one of their friends as a referral. And you can give them a discount on the program as a result of that referral if you want. You could take off like $10 a week of their payments, or you could give them a couple $100 cash. Whatever you want to do, you could give them buy them a Ninja Creamy or something if they refer someone, because it's win-win. If you're helping them and then you're helping someone else and they get credit for it. So using your results to stack more proof and also get referrals is going to be huge. It's kind of free in the beginning. As you're doing that, you also have to be posting valuable content. Like this content is going to be everything. So this should be a whole series of videos in itself, but I want to try and boil it down to a couple of things. So not only just posting the social proof and stacking that, but also the proof that you're a good coach and a good educator and a good basically content creator. Unfortunately, we have to make content because it's how we're going to get our brand out there. So if we're using Instagram as a funnel, we have to make Instagram content to fuel that funnel. Otherwise, how are people going to come and find us? You're going to be promoting to the same audience all the time. So I want you to make 3 to 4 posts per week. And that is going off someone who is not comfortable and doesn't want to post. I would say 3 to 4 a week. And what you can do is separate them into a few different buckets. You've got like personal or connection content. This is like documenting stuff. So in the beginning, all I did was document. I'm like, this is what I do. This is me training. This is what I eat. Like I'm just documenting everything, because it's so much easier to say, this is what I do versus do this. Like when you say do this, it's always talking down to people. And some people in the beginning don't feel comfortable doing that. So it's so easy to say, hey guys, this is what I'm doing to lose fat. Because no one can be like, no, you're not. It's like, yeah, I am. This is what I'm doing. So it's kind of like you just know there's no arguments. It is what it is. The next one is proof. And that's what we spoke about just before, just social proof, like stories mainly. It could be a video talking about what you've done with your client or something you guys are doing together. And the final one is just value. And if I'm thinking value, I'm thinking mainly education or entertainment to get the right amount of people that you want, like to get that right person into your world. So obviously the entertainment isn't going to be some random video. It's going to be relevant to fitness, obviously. So by alternating these kind of posts and going, here's some documentation content, here's maybe a bit of proof, and here's a couple of value pieces, it's going to create a content strategy that's going to be really easy to maintain. And it's going to get across credibility that you're good at what you do, and trust, and they're also going to like you because they're going to resonate and watch your content. So step 6 is set up the systems. Now, as I said earlier, we don't need crazy systems. We don't need email marketing. We don't need a website. We don't need anything that's going to be, that's not to do with delivering the service or just taking money, right? That's like pretty much the bare bones. We want to start small so we can actually get proof of concept and just iterate as we go. You don't want to start with the best. You want to start with the easiest and the minimum viable product, MVP. So there are 3 systems that you need, 3 softwares you need, and that's pretty much it from the get-go. So the first one is Calendly to book calls, because if you don't have Calendly, you're not going to get in the habit of booking calls. And if you don't book calls, you're probably not going to sign clients, just what I've seen. And it helps once you have like decent scripts and decent way of going about it. It makes life a lot easier. The second one is a way to take payments. So Stripe is a universal easy. It's so easy. Make a Stripe link. You make one for your PIF price, you pay in full, so that could be your $1,200, and you'll make one for your, say, weekly, one for monthly maybe, and you just have a couple variations just on hand. It's just a Stripe link, you just copy it. And on the call, that's when you give them the Stripe link. If they want to go ahead with it, you're like, yep, it's in the chat, there you go. They can just purchase it and sign up. And that way you've definitely guaranteed it, and they're not going to go home and then ghost you. And the third one is, say, Trainerize, or any kind of software that you want to deliver your coaching program through. So Trainerize, Kahuna's, OneFit, EverFit, any of those. Doesn't matter to me, it's just as long as you've got something to get it done, they're all kind of similar. And if you have these, you can get people on a call, you can take money, and you can deliver the service. Bonus ones is like Loom, if you're going to do Loom check-ins. And Loom, I just think everyone should have Loom. I think every business owner needs to use Loom at some point. So I just use it in my personal life anyway, because I'm weird. So I think everyone should use Loom. But these are the systems you need. Any more than that, yeah, they're nice to have, but it's not going to essentially move the needle in the beginning. Now, that is literally all you need to do. And it should take, I mean, our guys take 3 weeks basically from 0 to launch. And then it's like, okay, then how do we launch and what do we do there? That's all you need to do, because any more than that and you are over engineering some crazy scenario down the track that hasn't even happened yet, don't do that. All right. In my experience, do the bare minimum of what you need to get done like this to get the results. And that's fine. You can get all the results with this stuff. You don't need all the optimizations. So start with that and put a plan in place of what you're going to do with this, of how you're going to go about it, what content you're going to post, and just get started. In my honest opinion, like, you can just crush it. You can just get straight into it. Don't waste time. Most people spend so long overthinking and wasting time and just delaying this. It's crazy. So get into it, have fun, and get some awesome results. And finally, if you are an online coach or you're looking to get into it, like, genuinely, the social blueprint below is going to be your absolute best bet, because you don't have to do this yourself. You don't have to try it yourself. You have someone, a whole team of people to help you out. There's hundreds of people we've helped go from like struggling to confident. They quit their jobs and they're pursuing this full time. And there's ways to level up. So they start in the very beginning and then they end up making, 5-10 grand a month. And then they work with us to get to 20 and then 30. And we've got guys doing 50, 70K a month from online coaching alone. So it's pretty life-changing. It's awesome. And if that's something you're very passionate about and you're like, I really want to do this with my life, like, my opinion, it's my business, but why wait? Just get the help you need and give it a really good crack and get into it and skip all the years. Whereas if you want to work just yourself and like learn slowly, definitely put in the time. I mean, I put in 2-3 years, but I did that when I was like 18 or 19. So if it were me now, I'd be looking and go, there's people who have done what you want to do and they've done it shorter and faster and better. Learn from them. Pay them with money instead of your time. That's what my whole business is. So if you are interested, just book a call below, chat with the team, and we can definitely have a chat about how we can help. But I'd be crazy not to pitch as hard as I can, because I know it's going to help you so much. So the more people I can get this in front of and say, if this is what you want to do, this is your best bet. Not like, hey, everyone should do this. It's like, if this is what you want to do, 100% this is your best bet. And you guys will find out more in the description below. But I appreciate you guys. Hope this helped, and I'll speak to you soon.